Yeah. And that's how we start the show. So, yeah, people complain about long intros. I think that might be the longest one yet.
It's not going to be an intro, Phil. It's going to be slotted in the appropriate space. It's going to be lit.
Okay. Do you want to get it?
Yeah, standard.
Okay. I thought we were just going to do a drag and drop episode, but okay.
No. I'll do some editing. We're going on a mini vacation tomorrow. My wife's parents have booked a resort. And so for the weekend,
I don't want to lie. If there's a son-in-law, no diwa. It's Den. Den is loved at that house.
They've got holiday club, Phil. So they every time Dan's
what?
around,
Still
they're
a thing?
Yeah, still a thing.
Oh, snap! I remember we were part of holiday club. Well, granted, it's no longer in Zim, but I remember growing up, we were part of holiday club. We had this massive book. And then every year we get our points. Hey, fam, we used to travel. Shout out to Holiday Club. It really showed us the world. Botswana, we went to Namibia, we went to Mozambique, South Africa, Zanzibar, man. Those are the days, yo.
Holiday. You know what? I'm enjoying the fruits of other people's points, is what I can say. So.
But ultimately, it goes back to the region. I'll never forget the look on your father-in-law's face. And it's like, finally I have a son. I finally have a son.
I've always been good with parents, you know. They always love me.
That's good.
They always, except one instance, but other times, always.
You just ran me off again. I'll tune you off it off here. I laughed. Did.
Anyway, let's start the show, Philip. You have I don't have my roadcaster here.
So you aren't
good to go.
Are you
good to go?
I mean,
good to go.
I could do this, I suppose.
Good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Good to go.
Let me hear a drum play.
Sound of it, sing them. Hey. Let
me hear a drum play.
Welcome one more again to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is Two Broke Twimbos. My name is Danny That Guy, aka Danos the Mad Titan, aka Denford Wegumaraini, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka I'm done with these streets. What am I hearing? Whispers of conscription? What? Conscription happen? What? Aka Hakuna Mumwendi Danmu.
That's right. The unmistakable, the irrefutable, the unquestionable, the undeniable. That you won't catch me outsidable unless I have to be. Phil Chad, aka Flint Floss, the big boss, baby. Aka Pizza P, aka Sex in the Lovo, aka Filthy Phil, aka Flint Floss, the big boss, baby. And of course, everybody take it or drink. What up?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We're going to do another episode for you this week as the kings of consistency. Before we even start the show, Phil, I told you that what I do is I save stuff that I come across on the internet. And then instead of reacting to it in real time, I bring it onto the podcast. So please kill the music. I've got a little challenge for you. You see in our show notes, right where it says introduction. Then there's a headline there that I put on some stuff Dan saved on the internet this week. There's a tweet there. Do you mind just opening that tweet and then reading it for me? And then I would like you to interpret.
Let's see, some stuff Dan says Gen Z slang. Okay.
Yes, please read that tweet and then just. I want to know if it makes sense to you.
Okay, Clavicula was mid-jestergooning when a group of foids came up and spiked his cortisol levels. Is ignoring the foids while munting and muggling moids more useful than SMV chadfishing in the club?
Just see how many views that's got, right?
Is this how parents felt when we were speaking the backwards language? What the is this shit? Okay. I think I can figure out some of it.
All right, so let me read it out because Phil read it in a voice. Clavicular was mid-jestergooning when a group of foids came and spiked his cortisol levels. Is ignoring the foids while munting and mogging moids more useful than SMV chadfishing in the club? Okay, so please explain what it means.
Let's try to break this down. Okay, so I'm assuming clavicular means someone with a clavicular. So that's a guy with a strong clavicular bone. Just a gooning means he was faking being a real goon, which is like he was faking being a freak, right? When a group of foids, I'm assuming women, foids would have to be some sort of women, spiked his cortisol levels, stressed him out. So women came by, stressed him out, right? Is ignoring the foids, so he's ignoring the women while munting and mogging. I'm assuming munting and mogging. Moids. That's the one. Mogging, I'm assuming giving like hard looks, more useful than SMV chatfishing. So I'm chatfishing, I'm assuming is like gigachadding. So pretending to be like a gigachad, like an ultimate bro. SMV, I have no idea. SMV, I don't know that one. I don't know. How close am I?
You're pretty close. I mean, you're pretty close. So Clavicular is a popular streamer. He's known because of what's called looks maxing. Have you heard of looks maxing?
Is that the dude that like things his bones?
Yes, so he literally breaks his bones.
That's why he's familiar. I was listening to a podcast about this guy the other day.
yeah. So that's clavicular was mid-jestergooning. Jestergooning is, I mean, jester, I guess, messing around, being a fool, whatever. When a group of foids, so foids is that's like full on incel speak. It's short for female humanoids.
I was close.
Femoids.
Yeah.
Femoids. Female humanoids, I think. Anyway, spiked his cortisol levels, obviously stressed him out, is ignoring the foids or the female humanoids. By the way, if your teenage son comes home and uses the word foids, throw them in the car immediately and go and find some literal grass and just force them to touch it. Munting is apparently, I had to look this up, but apparently it's supposed to mean some kind of humiliating like pursuing or looking up to or chasing or something like that.
Where are you getting this translation from?
When this came across my timeline, I was like, what on earth am I reading? And then I saw that it had 25 million views. I was like, what on earth is happening? I found a very useful TikTok account that explained it to me. It's an older man who was explaining it. I was like, thank you, sir. With a British. In fact, you know what? Actually, I think it's better if you just listen to him directly. His name is, what's the name of the account? The account is Scroll Deep. All right, here we go. I'm going to play it and then let me know if the explanation makes sense to you.
There's only one news story everyone is talking about. I'm talking, of course, about how Clavicular was mid-jestergooning when a group of foids came and spiked his cortisol levels. Is ignoring the foids while munting and mogging moids more useful than SMV chadfishing in the club? We delve into what the hell any of that means, who the hell Clavicular is, and why he has now been arrested on this episode of Scroll Deep with me, Benedict Townsend, the show that keeps up with internet nonsense so you don't have to, leaving yourself more time to jestergoon. And make sure you are follow maxing and follower pills. The nonsense that I read just now is a tweet that has gone super viral, partly because it's absolute internet poisoned nonsense and partly because it relates to a whole weird corner of the internet and of male culture that is making its way into the mainstream whether we want it or not. And leading that charge is a man who calls himself clavicular, which unfortunately is really fun to say. So who the hell is clavicular and what the hell does any of that mean that I said just now? Well, let's start by delving into the tweet as we enter Dr. Professor Benedict's Dictionary Corner. And I'll do a still that you can use. You put like a mortarboard on me. Or just don't and leave that in. So here's the tweet as it stands. We'll go by and translate almost word by word. So it basically means Clavicula was hanging out, was chilling, when a group of women came and stressed him out. Is ignoring women while looking more attractive than men more useful than tricking people into thinking you have more value as a mate? That's like the cleanest translation I could sort of work out here. It's basically saying, like, is it more valuable to ignore women entirely and just try and look more attractive than men, or to try and like trick women? There's the thing they do where they use like pictures of attractive men on dating apps to try and trick women for.
You got the gist of it.
Yeah.
I think this is how our parents felt, our parents and uncles felt, because SMV means sexual market value.
Oh wow, there's a marketplace.
Yeah. We are cooked, man. We are cooked. Anyway, back to the show. We normally start the show with Zimbabweans doing big things, so allow me to mention a few of them. We have quite a few this week. Shout out to Aaron Munetsi, who is a Zimbabwean-born aviation executive who is getting the Aviadev 2026 Lifetime Achievement Award, recognizing his contributions to the growth and development of African aviation. Shout out to Aaron Munetsi. Aviadev 2026. It's like the Lifetime Achievement Award Oscars of aviation. So congratulations to you, sir. Huge shout out to someone who's been mentioned several times on this podcast, Vika Tivu. She's just started a YouTube show. It's created by the Global Partnership for Education and it's hosted by her, Vicky. It's called Back to School. Her first guest is Roger Federer.
Nice.
I know, right? So I put the link there for you to watch later, Phil. It's a short video. It's like 11 minutes long. But yeah, Vika Tivu sits and interviews Roger Federer. It's Back to School. That's the kind of the vibe of the interview. I thought that's pretty cool. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about the CAF African Schools Football Championship, AFCON for schools, that was going to be hosted in Zimbabwe. It's currently ongoing. In fact, by the time you listen to this episode, the final will probably have been played because it's going on from the 2nd to the 10th of April. We've just finished the semifinals, and I wanted to give you an overview of how things are going, Phil. So, first of all, you should know that $10 million was injected into this tournament by the Motsepe Foundation. The winning school is going to win $300,000 US dollars. Runners up get 200,000 and third place gets 150,000. They say that this money is for school development and infrastructure. There's two brackets, boys and girls. On the boys' side, it's gotten down to the semifinals. The semifinals, they played today, and I can give you an overview of the two that were in the semifinal. It was the four, rather, teams that were in the semifinals. It was Ghana versus Zambia. Ghana beat Zambia 1-0. They are also the defending champions, by the way, Ghana. So Ghana has now made it to the finals, and they will be facing Burkina Faso, who dispatched Morocco 1-0 as well in the semifinal that happened today. So the final for the boys bracket is going to be Ghana versus Burkina Faso, happening on the Friday. Then on the girls' side, I just told you the girls' side. So the girls' side is Ghana versus Burkina Faso. On the boys' side, Senegal decimated Morocco 4-0. That's so funny. Let's hope it doesn't get overturned.
Oh, did you? Okay. In fact, it ties into. Are we going to do that read or not? Because it ties into a lot of what was going on there as well.
Sure, we can talk about it after this. So,
because the cup arrived under heavy guard.
Senegal scored 18 seconds into the match, and they scored 3 goals in the first 6.5 minutes. But yeah, anyways, Senegal beat Morocco and made it to the final, and then Uganda beat Benin on penalties to get to the final. So the final is Senegal versus Uganda in the boys bracket. So yeah, so winners on both sides get $300,000. If you want to know how Zimbabwe did okay-ish. The girls got a 2-2 draw with Morocco. The boys held Uganda 1-1, but they were not able to take advantage of home ground advantage to make it to the semifinals. So they didn't make it this far. Okay. Here's a story that when, the place that I go to first when I'm normally looking for Zimbabweans doing big things is ZBC News. I'm sure you can imagine. ZBC always wants to put out any celebrations of Zimbabweans because it shows how the current administration is working towards 20, anyway. So this was a big story that I saw on ZBC News. 10-year-old Zimbabwean model eyes kids' global pageant crown. Zimbabwe's rising young talent is set to shine on international stage with 10-year-old mini Miss Global Zimbabwe, Kalisha, preparing to represent the country at the 4th edition of the Kids and Teens Global Pageant in Kuala Lumpur. That's going to be happening this weekend. Okay. Look, we celebrate pageants.
Do
But
it?
we also we have complicated feelings about them.
Putting it lightly.
10-year-olds. Aye, guys, come on. Maybe I'm being too woke. I don't know, but no. Anyway, congrats to young Kalisha. This is not on you, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the family is celebrating. I'm sure, but I don't feel very comfortable about this.
Neither do I. I think it's a weird one. It's a bit weird. Why kids in pageants? Like why?
Why, man? Like, why?
Whatever happened to the egg and spoon race?
Last week, just following up, we spoke about Kelvin Momo missing his show. If you recall, Kelvin Momo missed his Pretty Girls Love Mama Lisa event in Polokwane, and we had a discussion about Kelvin Momo and his reputation for missing shows. Well, when we released the episode, someone posted in the group an apology letter from Kelvin Momo, like, listen, man, why are you guys so behind? We already discussed this.
I was literally going to drop the Internet Explorer meme. Then I was like, wait a minute, this is a different venue.
It was, my man has a template. He just changes venue and date.
Like in Google Docs, you can put the variable. So you just put the square bracket and you just change the variable.
Change the venue, changes the date, changes the excuse. So he missed a gig at Mark's Pub in Chisanyama in
was this
Hebron,
one? Which
Pretoria.
one was the fuel excuse? Was it this one or the other one?
The fuel excuse was the one we spoke about.
And,
That was the one.
and
in
this was the
Polokwane.
family commitments one. Was it the family?
No, this one wasn't. It wasn't family commitments. It said that he had band rehearsals for his one-man concert.
And Dad, come on, Dad. Come on, guys. Do you not want me to put on a good show? I mean, really? Why would you let me accept the booking fee when you know I've got rehearsals for a show that day? Technically, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
Like, why would you book me when you know I've got rehearsals?
So this show was on April 2nd. His one-man show was April 5th. Anyway, his one-man show was sold out.
It did.
And it was in Durban, and it was hit by a freak rainstorm before Kelvin Momo went on stage.
And I said, guys, this is
The VVIP tent collapsed. The venue was flooded. Structures were destroyed. Kelvin Momo never went on stage.
guys. You know what I've learned.
And
in
so
life.
the event was cancelled.
You know what I've learned in life.
As the fans were chanting, more,
We wanna party. As someone who recently, went back to Chipinge, my home ground. as someone who's from the area, you know what I'm saying, who's got roots in the area. One thing I've learned is don't make enemies of people. Because you don't know what they're working with. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're costing people, let's not forget, you're costing these people millions of dollars, millions of rands rather, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of US dollars. And you consistently have cost them this money. And you're showing no signs of changing, no signs of remorse. Eventually that stuff is going to catch up. So it may very well be a freak weather incident. And you know what I mean? Shout out to the meteorologist that missed that. But also, my guy, let's remove the variables here. And let's just stop making enemies of people who might be able to call on the power of Mother Nature from time to time.
Phil thinks that Storm bought a ticket to his show and he didn't pitch up.
My man pissed off Storm. She was like, I will never.
I know. Anyway, just thought to give you guys an update on that. And shout out to Kelvin Momo, very talented musician, man. Top albums, top music. But am I ever going to buy a ticket to his show? Stay tuned. Okay. That's it, Phil. We can move on to our talking points for this week. But before we do so, Phil, I have something else that I saved on the internet this week that I want to share with you. I'm sure you can see the tweet. It's there in our talking points. You came very late to the recording. I had lots of time to copy all these things.
I see that. You're well prepared. Shout out to Dan for holding it down. Okay, wait. Where's this next one? After the Zimbabwe is doing it big.
Yeah, after the story about Kelvin Momo, it's on page.
See, we got stars on the red carpet major events.
Page 4. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, guys, we have a well-oiled machine out here. Well-oiled machine.
So, okay, the context of this tweet before you play it, right? It's a video.
Oh, wait,
where
I need to play it from my iPad. Hold on, yeah?
Yes, please. Yeah. So, people were reviewing the red carpet at the Euphoria premiere. Euphoria season 3 premiere. And someone tweeted, the celebrity red carpet etiquette thing needs to end. Where is everyone 3 hours into this Euphoria carpet? And then someone posted this video. And I just thought as people who have worked a red carpet before, we might also have some takes.
Okay. I'm just loading it here on the app. Let's see what she's got to say. I recognize her. Did you see that she was getting roasted when she wanted an intern, but she wasn't trying to pay them?
Talk to me about how you said the system is broken when it comes to Hollywood and red carpets.
So this is the issue. The issue is we do a red carpet, say it's from 5 to 6 p.m. If you show up at 5 p.m., you're a loser. The most famous person comes last. We have paid large amounts of money. We've hired a sound guy, a lighting guy, camera guy. We've hired glam for me, wardrobe for me, and we've hired me. There's a lot invested, right? So we're out there standing. Starts at 5 p.m. The first people that come are like ninth cheerleader from the right on Glee and are trying to still make it happen. Or the TikTok stars who are not in the movie, but have the same publicist as someone at 5:15. Maybe some of the Dancing with the Stars kids come. Some of the Mormon wives show up. It's now 5:30 and you're like, where are stars? Like, where are our stars? And all of a sudden it's 5:45. Stars arrive and they start doing photos. It's now 6 o'clock. We have not yet started interviews. We got to promote this movie. So star A and star B come and they start at Entertainment Tonight. Entertainment Tonight gets 4 questions. Access Hollywood's next. We're in a rush. 2 questions. Then's E's. 1 question and it's Kelty Night, so I turn it into 3. And then you get to about outlet number 5 and they go, I'm so sorry, you guys, the movie's starting. We got to pull them inside. And so now you have 30 outlets that have spent all of this money. And these are websites that are struggling, right? These are media outlets that are struggling. There's no surprise that everyone from Vogue all the way down is struggling in this economy. They've all spent money to be there and they have nothing. They have B-roll of them taking pictures, right? And this is happening all the time. The Golden Globes red carpet this year was nobody. I mean, people. And then all of a sudden 100 celebrities in the last 20 minutes. I have friends that like work for major publications, Elle and Glamour, and they're like, I got 4 interviews at the Golden Globes. You stood there for 5 hours and you got 4 interviews. There's not enough meat on the bone to even make the ad money back. It's deeply, deeply broken. We cannot support you unless you give us time. There will be no one left on the carpet because it's expensive. It's expensive to follow you around the world and do red carpet content.
Oh my God. I totally agree with her. Like, she's got it on point. Like, this fashionably lit thing is so annoying. It's so annoying.
That's Kelty Knight from E! News. E! exclamation. And she's explaining why the red carpet culture is broken. What do you think, Phil? As someone who has hosted a red carpet for, Zimbabwe's biggest celebrity night.
We did do that. Sometimes you got to give ourselves pom-poms. Let's give ourselves pom-poms.
Get mad now.
Yes, you're saying?
I just want to hear your thoughts on that. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's dumb as hell. If what should happen, and I think obviously because these celebs Actually, this is actually a very easy problem to solve, I feel. Because things are so coordinated. I don't understand why you just don't create a queue. So everything she described, like, okay, we're going to start, this is a running order of interviews. It's going to be these people, then these people, then these people, because you're in comms with the publicist, right? But also, there's always a queue of vehicles queuing up, leading up to the red carpet. What is stopping someone from getting to the venue and being in their lovely, luxurious SUV with air conditioning and circling the block until they get the signal, hey, there's an opening now. Can you please come down?
So you think it's simple, but it's the same problem that affects the stage at Fiesta or
no, it's not.
Zimfest.
No, it's not.
It's the person who gets interviewed last is the biggest star. That's the mindset. I mean, that's what this lady's saying, right? And I noticed it as well. Even whenever we've done red carpets, it's the same. There's a feeling that I can't go before that person.
No, you're missing my point. I'm trying to re-articulate what I'm saying. What I'm saying exactly encompasses this. That's why I'm saying you circled the block. So the issue, hold on, let me finish. The issue isn't who gets interviewed last. The issue is who gets interviewed with enough time for everyone else to get a fair interview and for the quote-unquote A-lister to also be interviewed without being cut short.
Oh, I get it, Phil. The solution to the Middle East crisis is that everyone must just respect other human beings, and then it's solved.
It's not even about respect. You can just literally time it out. And
I know it's not about respect. I'm just saying what you describe. The problem
but
here
what I'm confused is what I'm confused here is, right, if you know the red carpet is 5 to 8, the publicist should be told,
you're talking about the publicists.
So the publicist in comms with the person running the red carpet itself, the coordinator. You tell them, if you're the A-lister, you're going to need to do 20 to 30 minutes on the red carpet, which is fair because you're going to probably do 5 minutes for arrival, 10 minutes for photos, and then 15 minutes for interviews, right? That's a fair system.
The problem is, Phil, there's no the A-lister. If you're looking at Euphoria, it's pretty much an ensemble cast, right? Of at least 5 to, I don't know. I haven't watched Euphoria, so I don't know.
My guy, Euphoria is Zendaya, James passed down from generation to generation, and then everyone else.
No, and then there's also, what's her name? The one who was the pretty one who everyone thought, why wasn't she the one who blew up, who now got, I don't know, who's now got Ozempic face. And
wait,
anyway,
you just proved my point. You mean the one who never blew up? Okay, that's my point.
So there's those people, like the stars, as in the main characters. Then there's the people who are also invited. So it's not just them. There's also the people who are invited, all the celebrities who are there, all the ancillary celebrities that are connected to it. It could be celebrity appearances in the show, who's a bigger star than the main characters, but is in the show. Anyway, my point is all of this is hypotheticals. What she's saying is the problem is not the red carpet is there. The solution can't be publicists must just bring their people, because each publicist is incentivized by their client. I want to get my client. I don't care about this publication. I don't care about the actual event. The thing I'm trying to get happen is my client to blow up as much as possible. And the way that it's set up, the way it is right now, is whoever arrives last is the biggest star. So even if my client is not the biggest star, I want to make the perception exist that she is or he is the biggest star. So as long as the incentive or the motivation is to do that, then, anyway, this is just a small thing. It wasn't something with a big discussion, because celebrity culture is stupid anyway, in my opinion. But yeah, and when I heard that, the first thing I thought of is, it's kind of the same thing when it comes to artists performing on a stage. The feeling isn't, I want this show to be as good as possible or as well put together as possible, or I'm thinking about the flow, or I'm thinking about, no, we need to move energies from this to this, or no, that person's thinking whoever performs latest is the biggest star. So I need to make sure I perform after Ningi. And it's a very rare artist that recognizes that's not really the case.
I feel like we solved for that. And and I've solved for that. And I've done it before. I've had a running order. The artist that doesn't respect the running order, especially if it's in the contract, and I've drafted the contract, you're not performing and you're not getting your payment. And trust me, the next time they were booked, they were on time. Like, that can be fixed. and we fixed it.
While I agree that is a solution that must be put in place, I disagree with the flippant manner in which you've used it as a simple solution, because it's not.
It's okay. I'm not saying. It's simple to come. There's obviously a lot of risk. There's the crowd turning on you. There's the relationships being damaged. But at a certain point, you've got to put your foot on and be like, my guy.
Yes,
you saw the running order. You saw the running order. You saw the contract. Don't waste my effing time.
It's more than that, right? It's okay. Here I have this festival. I have a bunch of opening acts for which that contract you've described will work perfectly because they recognize where they are in the pecking order. Then you get to a stage in your lineup where people are now getting, how can I say, they either have or believe they have more leverage than they do have.
And this is where...
And once you get to that stage, while yes, in theory, that contract you're describing is still the correct solution, it's not always as simple a solution as you are making it seem.
I'm not making it seem simple. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to be the asshole. I have no problem being the asshole. And I am the asshole at the point of contract and poster. Because the same arguments people have with like, I should be second row, I should be bigger, I should be things. And we sit down and like, my guy, where do you think you fall in line here? Because I'm telling you as the booker, and who knows the numbers, who's looked at the numbers and who's seen the booking fees, you are in this number. So you are not going on after this artist, or this artist. If you are not on stage by this time when this artist is supposed to perform, you are forfeiting your fee. It's your choice.
You see, okay, as a promoter, one of the things that you also consider, you're not simply going to put biggest artists last. You're also going to consider the flow of your show. So, for example, if I know that I've got Junior Spraga, who's got very high energy, but I've also got Gemma Griffiths. Okay, that's a bad example. Let me think of... my point is, as you plan the flow of your show, you would know that I'm not going to put someone who's a lower energy act after a higher energy act, because that's just setting them up, right? So there's some of those considerations that you'll also make. You're trying to curate the event. You're trying to make it sound a certain way, all of those things. So it's not always as simple as that.
I feel like you're
that's
proving
kind of
my
beside
point.
the point.
But what you're proving is, as the show curator, I decide my running order. Whatever metrics I've used to decide my running order, I've communicated those to the talent that this is my running order. Any deviation from that running order is not on me. It's on you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Exactly. So I feel said like, okay, maybe we're just podding and it's fine. We're podding. Cool.
No, it's not that we're podding. Okay. I was just going to mention this as a throwaway, but your position that, this is a simple issue. You just do this and it's solved. Because I've done events together with you, Philip, and it's not as simple as you make it out to be. You have faced these problems, even with said contracts.
No. Here's the thing. We actually haven't. So the only time we've done an event, the events we've done, I know the contracts that we're talking about. There were no contracts. It was very loosey-goosey. It was like Shiga Kanwa Shiga. And then there was another event that we did where the contract specifically stated, this is what you're doing. This is the time you're pitching. If you're late for this, you're forfeiting this. That one there, where it was clearly stated in the contract, and we had the briefings with the teams beforehand, and we told them, this contract ain't for play. Don't waste our time. Guess who was on time? Without question. Guess who didn't have to adjust their set times? Without question.
Phil, this is such a clear confirmation bias when you're saying,
No. I'm not saying it's
the contract. The person came.
No, it's not. No, Dan. I'm not saying it's a confirmation bias. What I'm saying is you have got to set. It's the same thing with the relationship, business, wherever it may be. You've got to set a hard and fast rule, and you've got to keep to it. No matter the consequences. If it means people are going to throw cans at that stage on night one or event one, so be it. So that you set an example going forward where artists know, this event don't play like these other events. I need to be on time.
You are assuming that's going to be this. That's going to be the conclusion that has been come to. An equally plausible conclusion is night one was such a shambles that people no longer want to buy tickets or be booked by you in the first place.
There's ways around that. There's ways around that. And I feel like you and I have done enough events where we've seen where it's very easy to quell a rowdy crowd. It's very easy.
This is where
I was just in Chitungwiza. In fact, I need to speak about this. I need to speak about this. I was listening to Chitungwiza why I saw this live and direct. We'll put that on the show, and I need to come back to that. But yeah, it was wild. Oh, Chillmaster's a better man than me. That's all I'll say.
Okay, you know what? It's fine. It's all right. My bad. It's actually very simple. You just put it in a contract, and all the artists will follow it, and we move. What's the problem?
Okay.
These dumb promoters that keep getting their concerts messed up. I don't know what's wrong with them.
These
silly
you know,
red
like
carpets
I
also.
I feel like you are podding because
No,
let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence. You're not letting me talk.
It's so simple. You just do this. No, Philip.
I'm not saying it's simple.
All
No,
right.
Dan, I'm
simple.
saying
it's actually very simple.
I'm saying the solution exists. I've seen chippers do this. So you are, and this is this is the, how do I put it? There is a confirmation bias when you're not used to it, right? When you're caught on the back foot and you're like, yo, I don't know what to do. And when you're someone like Chippers who does this every weekend, he knows how to tune those artists. And they'll follow. And they know what they can get away with and they know what they can't get away with. It's the same thing with South Africa. There are promoters who artists know, hey, you know what? Maybe I can tell them I couldn't find fuel. You know what? Maybe I'm going to be late. And there's some promoters, artists will be like, yeah, fam, I got to be on time.
You're right, actually. You know what? You're right. It's really all on the promoters. These artists just need to be handled right by someone who knows what to do. Philip, anyway, I hope that, you know, the Dunning-Kruger effect is not what is at play here, Phil.
How is the Dunning-Kruger effect when this is what I do?
That's exact. Anyone who does anything long enough knows that nothing is as simple as it seems.
I'm not saying it's simple. I'm saying this is where my line is. I understand the risks and the consequences, but this is where the line is. I do not want to deviate from that line because it sets a bad precedent. And once you do it for one time, you can't then stop and do it another time because other people are going to be like, wait, this guy did this. So you've got to set a line somewhere. And people will be like, yo, you know what? Phil's an asshole.
All right.
He's hard to deal with. I don't want to go there.
Don't get me wrong. Okay, so I think this is just a case where we can agree to disagree. Here's my opinion and position on this. Absolutely, this needs to be discussed and clearly put out in the contract. There needs to be a briefing with the team. The whole team needs to be aware. There needs to be consequences put in place. All of that needs to be in place. I do not disagree with that. The only part where I differ from you is I don't believe that fully solves all problems all the time. And the idea that some promoters have a reputation of being this or that, I'm sure that can have an effect, but I also don't believe that's a full solution. In my opinion, there are going to be some people who mess up. There are going to be some artists who are not reliable. That's just always going to exist. The example that you gave of Chipas, if you were to tell me that every event that Chipas has right now, every artist is always on time, then I could sit back and say, oh, you know what, you're right. But of course, I think we all know that that's not the case. We all know that's not the case. And my entire point is, yes, the things that you've mentioned are things that you should do, and they will improve things. But it's not an all-out solution. Neither is it. It's simple. You just do this the way that you framed it. I've got the solution. You just do this and it's sorted. And I'm like, well, you think, first of all, to differing extents, different promoters do things differently, right? But to differing extents, you know, some of these promoters have done those exact same things you've done, that you've talked about. Some of them maybe haven't. But anyway, I don't believe it's as hard a line as you imply that it is. And it's okay. It can be something we agree to disagree on.
All right.
Okay. I had another. I had saved this clip from Rihanna, but I don't know. It was just going to be a discussion about Rihanna growing up. If you saw, there's like a clip from, it's an old clip, not that old, a couple of years old, where she's talking about, oh no, you know, I can't believe now that I'm a mom that I used to dress the way I dressed. I can't believe I used to show skin. I can't believe I used to show nipples. What? I can't believe I did that. And I know that's going to sound hypocritical. And for some reason, that clip was trending this week. But never mind. I actually don't.
Yeah, I think
it's men getting into women's business.
Exactly. Speaking of men getting into women's business, I've got a friend that hit me up and asked for some help getting the word out on something. So we're doing this in the hopes of getting free tickets to Senegal. Maybe, I don't know. maybe, possibly. Dan, are you aware that the Dakar 2026 Youth Olympics are on the horizon? And they are calling for volunteers. The Dakar 2026 Youth Olympic Games is set to make history as the first ever Olympic event on African soil, and organizers are calling for volunteers to be part of this landmark moment. The Games will take place on October 31 to November 13, 2026, across host cities including Dakar, Diamaniado, and Sali. The official volunteer program, known as Jamba 2026, aims to recruit over 6,000 individuals to support key areas such as events operations, media, and protocol. Applicants must be at least 18 years old and available for a minimum of 10 days, including training. Speaking from within the organization team, event general manager Farai Chigwedere described the experience as a powerful moment for Africa, highlighting the opportunity for volunteers to gain international exposure while contributing to a historic global event. Applications are open until April 30th, 2026, and interested candidates are encouraged to apply online using the provided registration code ZHGTJLTK or visit Dakar2026.org and head to the recruitment page.
Big ups Senegal, big ups Africa hosting the 2026 Youth Olympic Games. So I guess just to summarize, if you would like to be part of the 6,000 volunteers that are needed at the 2026 Youth Olympic Games, then go to Dakar2026.org and the registration code, once again, ZHGTJLTK. We'll put it in the show notes as well. And if you find yourself in Senegal because of this podcast, maybe we'll meet each other there, or just send us through some behind the scenes coming through from Senegal for the Dakar 2026 Youth Olympic Games. You have until the end of April to send in your applications, April 30th. And shout out to Farai Chigwedere, who is working hard on putting together the volunteers.
And a podcast listener who says she feels I antagonize Dan too much.
Where would she get that? Where would she get that idea from?
I don't know. Wild accusation.
Okay. So one of the you know what, I feel like we can have a quick chat with Kandoro here, because then it will move into our you see now. So literally just as we were starting recording this podcast, we had a quick chat with King Kandoro over the phone. Please enjoy.
We're gonna do the intro properly later, but we've got one of our fans, a big fan, a groupie pretty much, someone that looks up to us. We're like father figures to him. He was calling, asking for some advice. Where do you know what I mean? It's like, yo, what do you guys think? Dodi. And we're like, let's help you out. But at the same time, we're like, we're about to record the show.
As you know, this is the sponsored section brought to you by Cab 3. And we just want to...
What?
King Kandoro in his house.
What?
What's up, man?
What up, guys?
Oh, wow. We just thought to call you. Unfortunately, I was... I'm not in the country. If I was, I would have loved to have been at the very special Easter show that you had. So we just thought to call you and hear, how did it go? What was it like? Can you explain why you had to bring out Takura? That's just not fair. And all other such questions. Tell us about it, man.
No, the show was dope, man. I think, we called it a very special Easter show so that, the scareos could look at the poster and say, Ugat Studio. That was the creative direction we were going with that one. But it was dope, man. I think the real highlight of that show was just the array of upcoming talent we had. These dope guys that have been doing their comedy under that new school comedy, emblem. So Chipenzi, Nevu, Mike, the ladies, Patricia Putsai, we had Munya Gramatunu, they killed it. And I think it felt like a coming out party. And then we had Takunda Kurinyepa, who's an up-and-coming R&B sensation, well on his way to becoming, an incredible artist. And then Takura comes out, which was just like the icing on the Easter cake. It was a dope evening. It was a dope evening.
Do you know what's mad, right? See, normally people need to sell tickets, so they announce the big things that are going to be there. You know what I'm saying? You actually say, guys, tengai my tickets. We've got Takura performing. Make sure you get yourself some tickets. Dada, you decided to know this is a surprise.
No, because I wanted to get to a point whereby, if Kandoro has said there's a show, just go. Just go. You will find whatever. Whatever you find. I mean, last year we had we celebrated with an array of ministers there. On top of Japreza, we had an array of ministers. It only took my self-discipline saying, guys, vananema issues, the Minister of Health, we went first to your airport. But that's what we do. I mean, even at this one, we had quite, I'll tell you guys the name Ostage because I don't want him to feel like there's some Juma. But we had quite a few, I think the surprise really complemented the night in a very exciting way. So all I will say is next time Mogams Watati, kune show, my sambano gonna go budi here. My sambana Louis Flang. They can come out. Do something for the people.
I know, my guy. You are doing the things. You're doing the thing. You know what? Like, all jokes aside, I think something that I've sort of been noticing more and more is everything that exists that we take for granted. It took someone to really push and just make it happen. You know what I mean? Like someone had to have the force of will to make it exist in the world. So the fact that you see, 1 hour Netflix specials that are paid, tens of millions of dollars for, it didn't just happen. It started with someone having force of will, making it exist. Someone, so the force of will is seen, data, and it's creating the space. No, I appreciate it, man. I think it's also I honestly can't take credit and claim which man and do what. With the media
let me be humble.
I get it.
Let me be humble. Let me this is the humble. Minute 5, be humble to balance the No, but honestly, man, it also is complemented by just coming across people with similar type energy. You guys are part of, have been part of my journey for a very long time. In wrong.
As much as we're bigging you up also, sometimes there's something I have to say that's been weighing heavy on my heart. How can you do a podcast episode with Dennis Mdara? Sometimes it's like taking 2 steps forward and 4 steps back.
Imagine we recorded like 3 guys. I think if you look at that episode, you can tell who made the phone call to make that to make that podcast, to make that episode happen. Phone calls were made. That's the most sponsored episode I've ever done. We were literally singing for our supper. Literally singing for our supper in that episode.
You had to seal the deal.
We had to seal the deal. We had to remember where our bread is buttered.
And I'm gonna
taka shambaza. But yeah. So thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you. But imagine what do we do, because this is the part when the Poja Mira Kerira. Seriously. How do you
that's why we'll put it at the end, don't worry. We'll put it at the end. Real quick, what do you think of Kanye West being banned from UK and the Wireless Festival being cancelled?
I think it's the worst piece of performative nonsense I've seen in recent times. I think I understand in like I don't know Matondita started. You should have let me go. You should have because so I understand on paper, the place of anguish, right? But this guy did say anti-Semitic, things. Or this guy did do this, did make these people angry. But we also have to remember, Kuti, we are living in a world that is very conscious of mental health. And that is doing all it can to say, we need to be aware of people with mental health. We need to platform them. We need to help them. We need to give them the resources. So if you are saying, this is the world that we are living, but we make an exception for Kanye West, I honestly...
Some people will say mental health doesn't excuse you from the consequences of what happened while you were suffering from it. So as much as we have to be understanding and as much as we... Okay, for the record, I'm being devil's advocate, Angu, because I've said it very clearly on this podcast multiple times. If I was in the UK, I will be there at that concert with a hoodie, Angu. And
with the hoodie, of course, that'll be very fitting attire. Very fitting attire.
And I won't be posting, but I will be there. But anyway, I
understand, and you bringing up that point is actually important. I understand the idea of repercussions to actions, right? It's very fair. But the way it becomes performative for me is because there is no way Kanye West would have been booked for Wireless without there being a consultation for all the stakeholders.
There already was. They've come out and they said, Wireless, they said, we spoke to all the sponsors. If you even look at the post, when they announced Kanye, Pepsi was in the comments saying, we can't wait.
So there's no way one was caught by surprise but people are being performative now because of the backlash. But also the backlash is very one-sided, The backlash is because I don't know how much Kanye West cost, but I'm assuming it's a lot of money. I'm assuming before the announcement, deposits were paid. There's no way that money would have been exchanged. That level of investment would have been invested had there been no due diligence. So that this anger now, it feels, especially in light of geopolitical affairs, it feels very, very performative. I personally, I don't know if I would have been excited.
Be careful. You have to go back to Keir Starmer's country just now. Be careful what you say. All
right. You're right. We shouldn't get carried away. But
as for me,
it's honestly the UK does these things that feel very, very performative. That feel very high and mighty. And you're like, okay, what has actually been achieved by this thing? What has actually been achieved by cancelling Wireless? Because by doing this performance, how many people are actually employed by Wireless? How many other artists would have benefited from this? Because the decision wasn't to remove Kanye West, it was to cancel the whole festival. So the people that wanted Kanye West, are they happy with this decision that is now denied employment to what I'm assuming is thousands of young black,
So here's the play that I'm thinking. Here's my conspiracy theory, and I saw it play out. And I think it's actually genius. You have event insurance, Antika, in UK, which is something we don't have in Zimbabwe, which we discussed actually on last week's podcast. B, you have a proven paper trail of communication with sponsors approving the performance of your headline act. This is a clear case of, guys, Why are we stressing ourselves putting a show together? We have an open and shut case. We're going to go to our insurance company, get our insurance payout.
Right.
Then we are going to sue them for breach of contract.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
And at the same time, the same people that didn't want Kanye performing, there's a high likelihood that they'll even be willing to take the financial L just to prove a point. So they'll be like, it's fine. Okay, you paid Kanye $2 million.
Which people are those, Phil?
The anointed people.
Yeah, I got.
You'll never catch me slipping. You'll never catch me slipping.
But if this episode is scrubbed off the internet, now I will believe that power. If this episode vanishes off the album, that's so cold. That is so cold.
Anyway, yeah, I knew that would get you talking.
Yeah, I felt I actually haven't had an opportunity to vent, but it's just been back and forth. I saw that, I was like, but do you think is there time for, because I felt like the decision to cancel wireless as a whole was too reactionary. Is there room where are these guys maybe making a play where these guys are like, okay, Munozoka, they want to be back to come back, or is it done?
No, I think what they did was smart, because what you're doing, Andiga, if you continue with wireless, you're not gonna sell the same amount of tickets, because you've invested your whole marketing plan, your whole booking plan around this.
Yeah.
The people that were going to attend are now disappointed. So now you cancel it. You've shifted all the pressure from you to Kia Starmer and company, because all the ticket buyers who wanted to see Kanye, they're not looking at wireless anymore. They're looking at Kia Starmer and Co. and they're saying, you guys ruined our opportunity. Why? Then he's going to be like, this guy was anti-Semitic, and they're like, why was there an ISIS leader in your office last week?
So it wasn't the UK government that cancelled wireless. They just said Kanye can't come.
No, but they cancelled his visa. Exactly. And then
wireless said, festival cancelled.
So you think, okay, you're explaining this to, you think the general public would just lead to the result. No Kanye,
yeah, I know.
No festival.
No. No, so I'm just adding, so you're... Kandoro asked the question about, do you think there's still room for wireless to come back and so on? I was saying, no, they're the ones who cancelled it. As in, wireless themselves said,
and now they put the pressure.
If you're barring our headline act,
yeah. And also, to be fair, wireless couldn't continue anyway, because all the sponsors, the major sponsors had pulled out. So this was smart, because now it means they're not putting together a half drone show. The pressure is now on the sponsors that backed up, because now the fans are asking them, going, Mimi, why did you back out? But you're sponsoring so-and-so, you're sponsoring so-and-so, you're sponsoring so-and-so.
It's very ridiculous. You would think with everything that is happening in the world, this would be an easy alley-oop for if it's Labour government. I don't know why they would go down that path of, because Kanye West is like, I think it was one of the statements that I saw from the festival. Was it the festival organizer saying, it's not like we have banned Kanye West music being played on radio or streaming platforms. So why is the festival an exception? Which is a very valid question to ask. If you guys, it seems like you're making, different rules for different things.
They're making it up as they go. It's the funny thing is, Kandoro left a country that made rules up as it went, where he couldn't speak out about the leadership. And he moved to another country where they make the rules up as they go. And he can't speak about the leadership. I think the problem is you, Kandoro. You are the problem.
I want to tell you guys on this podcast right now, because people think that I came here to do shows in Grigini, but I saw what was happening in Europe. I left all the British citizens in my house. I said, no, you guys deal with this. I'm not involved.
Nigga left his babies like juices. You red passport niggas, I'm out.
Yeah. All of them congregate when it's convenient for them to remind me that they're British citizens. There's never a sweeter time to be a Zimbabwean in Zimbabwe right now, because ukaona misika kuZimbabwe rinenge ichitokutsvaga iwewe. It's not. There's zero likelihood of something dropping in my book where I am right now. I'm safe here. So once I declare out good airspace, there's no smoke on the horizon, I will go to my kids. Until then, we will face time. That's enough.
Shout out to black and present fathers. We love a present father there for their children at all times.
But also shout out to 5G network, man. Shout out to 5G connectivity.
I'm raising my baby on FaceTime. It's just as good.
I installed a Ring camera before I left. I know how those niggas are doing. I see them.
Kwane peacefire. Don't worry. Kwane peacefire.
I was eating ball, guys.
Good, brother. Those are back later.
Cheers, guys.
Sharp. And we have returned.
Hello.
So we towards the end of that chat, obviously we started talking to Kandoro about Kanye West. So just a quick recap. I'm sure most of you already know this, but Kanye West was announced as the headline act for the Wireless Festival all 3 days. Last year's headline act was Drake at a very inopportune time in his career. But yeah, Drake was the Wireless Festival headline act, and this year it was Kanye West, or Ye, as he seems to prefer to be called, from July 10th to 12th in Finsbury Park, London. Then, everything was announced. Obviously, there were grumbles, as there always will be, around the name Kanye West. But then, apparently, some public figures in the UK government started putting out statements about how concerned they were that the Wireless Festival was platforming an anti-Semite such as Kanye West. Then all of a sudden, sponsors started pulling out. Pepsi pulled out. Diageo pulled out from sponsorship of the Wireless Festival. And then, people were confused and others were celebrating. And then finally, the Wireless Festival organizers basically said, I'm going home with my ball. And yeah, so now we're left in the space where everyone is trying to understand, okay, wait. First of all, you can't tell me that Pepsi pulled out because of Kanye, because there's no way they would have sponsored the festival without knowing who the headline act was. And even when it was announced, they were aware and they celebrated and all of that.
And Wireless has said that all sponsors they asked before announcing and signing, hey, is it okay if we book this guy? And they were given the go-ahead across the board.
Now, to be fair, for huge corporates like Pepsi, the social media team isn't necessarily the same as the marketing team, which isn't necessarily the same as, head of corporate. So it's possible that there could have been approvals with the social media team to celebrate Kanye West, and there could have been approvals with the marketing team that, yes, it's fine, we'll sponsor this festival. But once it got to, exco level, they were like, aye, you guys know who we have on the board.
No, that's not how it works, but okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's how it works. I'm saying it's possible that approvals could have been made and then different parts of the corporation later on may have said different. But that having been said, sorry, go ahead.
Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Dad.
Let's hear.
What do you think the lead time is for sponsorship and artist bookings for a festival of this magnitude?
Probably over a year.
I rest my case. Thank you. Continue.
Okay. How many festivals at any given moment do you think Pepsi are sponsoring globally in a year? If you're off the top of your head, sponsored by Pepsi.
Maybe 5 per region. So maybe 5 per region is 25 festivals.
25 festivals?
Mm-hmm.
I would estimate higher. I would say 50 to 100 festivals.
Let's ask Perplexity.
Major festivals like Wireless, sure. Okay, but also smaller festivals like even one that we had here in Zim.
No, but that's I get what you're getting at,
So
But
my
I
point
think
is,
at a
ultimately,
certain
obviously-
threshold, they don't care about the 5,000 people in Harare.
Of course. My point is there's probably multiple events, and they likely have an entire department where approvals would come in. And it's possible that there was sign-off given and so on. And then another member of EXCO who normally wouldn't weigh in on festivals, then after he gets a call from whoever he gets a call from, might change his mind. So that what I was saying is it isn't completely out of the realm of possibility that for such a big global corporate like Pepsi, it is I can see a possibility where someone in the EXCO team or someone high enough could reverse a decision that was made by someone else earlier. But that's also kind of pointless because I don't think that's what happened here anyway.
Mhm.
Obviously, boss calls were made by by people.
Bingo.
So you heard Kandoro was saying that it's very performative. I mean, that's what it is, right?
It's wild. I mean, it's the hypocriticalness is so hypocritic, and it's great to see the empire. The empire is collapsing from all angles, and it's wild. The other thing that I'm trying to find a smart way to say this, but I think a lot of people from the chosen people have also said it as well. It's like, yo, the way y'all are moving is kind of confirming all the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that we've been pushing against for all this time. Because not only are you squashing people's voices, but you're making it. You're not endearing yourselves with the public, and it's gonna it's gonna have a breaking point. It's already starting to, like, the edge is starting to fray, but it's getting real.
I got a very surprisingly good take, and it's not surprising anymore, I guess, at this point, from Vic Mensa, in front of his orange tree.
That how come the tree never runs out of oranges? Like, how many?
That's a
oranges
valid question. Valid question. Kanye West's biggest crime is anti-Semitism. Is it actually his biggest crime?
No, it's not.
That's not.
He's
that's
committed.
not-
Wait, Kanye. Okay, let's also not forget. Kanye West has allegedly committed actual crimes like sexual assault.
Oh no, those would not have cancelled him for the Wireless Festival.
Which is what, because.
So that's what I'm saying. Kanye West's biggest crime is anti-Semitism, which it isn't, but that's a huge crime. Last year's headliners at Wireless Festival, Phil, apart from Drake.
You mean the guy that was in jail for dismembering a body?
So there's 3 days of Wireless, right? So Drake was main headline for all 3 days. And then there were co-headliners on each day. Burna Boy, Party Next Door, and Vibes Cartel. Vibes Cartel? Oh, yeah. That was because he had just come out of jail last year. Why was he in jail?
Oh, yeah. I remember Burna Boy. Remember when he hit on someone's wife and then someone got shot in the face at the club and then he disappeared? That's crazy. Anyway, sorry.
Just this week, Burna Boy was in another controversy because apparently he was in a club and the DJ was playing WizKid, and Burna Boy's team took it as disrespect that they kept playing WizKid while Burna was in the club. So they went and assaulted the DJ. So now the Nigerian Association of DJs, or whatever it's called, I don't know, are calling for a moratorium on Burna Boy songs. I was reading this in one of these Nigerian blogs and I was just like, hey man, you know what? I don't want to read more of this. Anyway.
A shout out to them having an association.
I don't think it's a real association. I'm sure it's just like a loose, self-appointed. I don't know. I didn't read enough to know the details. But anyway, my point is, Vibes Cartel, he was not released from jail because he had served time and was therefore, absolved of. No. He was released from jail because of complications with the case.
No, it's because the police set him up. The police couldn't arrest him for the crimes they thought he committed, so they framed him for a crime he didn't commit because they were seen fabricating text messages and falsifying evidence. But also the level of falsifying said evidence is sketchy. But anyway,
long story short is, Vibes Cartel violently murdered and dismembered
Allegedly, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Probably. I don't know.
And he was headlining at Wireless. Now, I don't believe he shouldn't have been headlining at Wireless. I think all celebrities are bad people anyway, or are very likely to be bad people. Not all of them, definitely. I think that people can then decide to support or not support. I can't believe someone would say, this person will not perform. Hi, if there's people who want to watch him perform, they must watch him perform. Unless he's actively hurting people, right? Mm-hmm. If he's done something in the past, the public will then vote, right? They just won't attend his show because he's hurt too many people, which we all know that's not what's going to happen. Anyway, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious how I feel about that. Yeah, so this whole Wireless Festival situation is hilarious, and I think we've already discussed the conspiracy that Phil mentioned when we were discussing earlier.
Dan, is it still a conspiracy when there's overwhelming evidence across the board? when the whole world declares a ceasefire, and we're like, "Yo, ceasefire, we're not doing nothing," and then 4 hours later, you drop a statement in English saying, "Nah, we're bombing Lebanon. What you gonna do about it?"
No, okay, Phil, we have to create a separation between the Israeli ethno-state and Jewish people. We cannot just conflate them because that's us doing Bibi Netanyahu's work for him. And other such statements as said by Vic Mensa. Anyway.
Look at you just stealing another light-skinned man's intelligence. Just regurgitating his guns. But also, time, guys. I've asked this before, and I'll ask again. I love Nadia Nakai. Nadia Nakai is the friend of the podcast. But after seeing Vic Mensa by his orange tree and then reading I've read his newsletter. It's very insightful, very, very, very well read. I do wonder, like, what would they talk about? Like, what do you think their pillow talk was like?
There you go again, underrating someone and
I'm not underrating. I'm just asking, what do you think their pillow talk was like?
I'm sure they spoke about, socio-political movements and geopolitics and metaphysical.
I've got Nadia's number. Should I call her? Let me ask her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Call Nadia. Hey, Nadia, you're on the podcast. So what did you and your ex used to talk about? If you want to get Maloti on the podcast. So just 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, Kanye West did the SoFi Stadium 2 nights, reportedly grossed 33 million in a sold out 2 back-to-back shows. You might have seen the videos and the images of the incredible stage with the globe on the stage, and yeah. Man, I don't know what was going to happen there in Wireless. If it was going to do something similar, but likely.
Yeah, it probably was. It was going to be like. Here's the thing. Kanye West is a deplorable individual. I judge people more for listening to or continue to listen to him because of the things he said, the things he supported, and trust and believe. Like this week has been, it's especially back and forth. I haven't been online much, but every time I've logged in, it's been the battle of the receipts. So on one side, you've got people pulling out all the hypocritical receipts from the UK government side, or other people who've done and said a lot of worse things. And on the other side, you've got people just putting out evidence like, yo, there's Kanye with the swastika chain with Nick Fuentes talking about how much of a thing, how much he loves
saying he's hanging out with his white supremacist homie. Like,
yeah, I was just like, yo, time people forget this man. We talk about it, but time people forget this man came out with a swastika necklace and a black KKK hoodie and did a full interview in a black KKK hoodie, yo. Let's not forget the deplorable things he's done to his wife, or it made his wife endure. Let's not forget about the accusations about his former assistant.
Hold on. What are the deplorable things he's made his wife endure?
Straighten the titties.
Are we sure that was him?
Yeah, he said it was him because he posted a picture of titties. She said she didn't want to show titties.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, think about the children, Dan. Think about the children. But okay, let's put the wife thing to the side. There is the
I think it was him. I was just asking if there was actual confirmation that
there was the accusation of from the assistant about sexual assault. There is the woman who legitimately filed a case about being strangled by him on a video shoot. So these exist, right, in the world. Outside of the Hitler stuff, the Nazi stuff, the anti-Semitic stuff, the racist, once again, saying slavery was a choice, calling out black people and never apologizing, the MAGA stuff. Oh my God. There's so many things Kanye has done that, I have no goodwill towards him. Like, I don't care what he does. Like, even when this Bully album dropped, I'm not listening to it. I'm not listening to that Nazi music, as I stated in the group. And I'm judging all those people that were listening to it. You guys listen to Nazis? Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, I have a completely different view. I, by default, believe that most current artists, a large majority, even what we already know, but let's even add all the stuff we don't know. If we were to, I don't know. I completely don't. I don't feel like I am, when I'm listening to your music, I don't feel like I am engaging the person. But I can also understand how people feel differently. However, I would wonder, would Morgan Wallen, for example, be barred from entering the UK?
That's totally. I thought about that. It's a totally different thing. Morgan Wallen was just
Why?
saying that.
Why is it different?
Morgan Wallen was just caught using a slur one time. As much as I hate him, he was caught using a slur one time when he was drunk. Kanye went on the the anti-nigger press run, bruh.
Okay, so does that mean the extent of how much you do something will determine whether you're allowed into a country or not?
I think that your argument is already falsely premised because it shouldn't bar you entry at all. Like, no crime was. I assume, depending on the laws of that land, if, say, for example, being a Nazi, endorsing the Nazi party or the Nazi ideals is illegal, like it is in Germany. I don't know if that follows through in the UK. Then yes, you should be barred from entering that country. So how long you do something, it sure, I think, plays a factor. So using a slur, a racist slur, for example, may be classified as a hate crime. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know where that line is. I don't know what classifies as, I just had too much to drink, versus, hey, I'm committing a hate crime because I'm speaking out against an ethnic group. I don't know what that line is. But the problem here is, as you just said, we are having this discussion because it's not clearly defined. If it was a clear, open and shut case, you'd be like, no, guys, here's video of Kanye West saying A, B, and C. As per our laws, section chaguti, subsection what, he's in violation of this statute, so he cannot perform here. The problem is, my man's got his work permit, my man's got booked, my man's got paid, my man got announced. Then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. So now we're not applying the law anymore. We're applying feelings.
I think that was ultimately my whole entire point. I wasn't. The problem is, it feels like when I've seen the same debate that you're talking about of people showing receipts, it's not that, from my perspective, there's no question as to whether Kanye West did or said wrong and hurtful things. He did. The receipts are there. We know it. In fact, if anything, the more you look at the receipts, the more you realize just how bad it was. The question is, one, does that make it illegal for him to perform? Should he be barred from performing? Should he not be allowed into a country? I agree with you. If he's actually performed a crime, then yeah, sure. If not, I don't think you can make that. I think the reason that was used was sort of empower. And I also want to try and remove sort of the bad faith elements of this discussion. So obviously there's the chosen people side of things, right? Then there's the people who just want to troll or just want to argue, if we remove like extremes and just have like a somewhat, because there's some people who are not part of the extremes who genuinely believe that, Kanye shouldn't be performing at Wireless. How can we platform such a despicable individual? And if he didn't commit a crime, you can disagree with him, you can dislike him intensely, but you can't police whether people listen to him or not.
But that's the thing. They're actually not trying to. This is the weird thing, you mentioned it earlier in the Kandoro chat. They're not trying to police who listens to him. They're trying to police who sees him live. It's such a weird. It's the standards are double standards are mind-boggling.
If the argument is some kind of morality that this person is so wicked that we don't want our kids to, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't buy that. It's just, man, it's just the world we live in is just very funny, man. It's just extremely funny. Anyway, again, I will say the same thing that I always say. I can completely understand why someone would never want to see or never want to hear Kanye West again. I don't feel that way. Although I will say, like, for example, even his new album, Bully's come out. I haven't listened to it yet. I will, eventually. But I don't know. I just don't feel like it now. I will. I'll find some time to listen to it. And when I listen to it, I'm not going to be thinking of Nazi Kanye or KKKs or whatever. I'll literally be listening to the music. And I don't think of it that. Even like right now, on some of my playlists, I've got music from college dropout and graduation and whatever. I literally listen to that without nary a thought entering my mind of current Kanye. The one person who I think I haven't been able to do that with is R. Kelly.
I was actually about to speak to you. So here's the thing. I've gotten into a phase of listening to really inspirational music. You know, like uplifting music. Sometimes even a few gospel jams. You know, some of these gospel songs ring off. You know, very good to lift the spirit. And I was heading to a meeting earlier today. Actually, I needed to lift my spirit, lift my energy. And guess what song I started playing?
That you can believe you can fly.
No, the storm is over. Because I was like,
the
tough times are over. You know what I mean? It's time to get to this. You know what I'm saying? And I was putting my foot, and I was like, part of me was like, yo, this is such a great song. I love it. It's really lifting my spirits. But I was like, why do you have to ruin this, Robert? Why do you have to ruin this? Because I can't listen to I can't listen to Bump and Grind. I can't listen to like Agent Number. I can't listen to those tracks because I feel like they were written from a very creepy and seedy place. But some of his inspirational jams, bro. Guys, it's tough to.
I remember I have some old mixes of mine.
Like, I believe I can fly. Guys, come on.
Came on, and it took me. It was like a full minute before I was like, wait. And I think R. Kelly is the only artist where I can't read. Like, I'll still, like, a song will come on and I'll even try to, like, maybe let me not think about it. And
I can't listen to I'm Your Angel. I can't listen to I'm Your Angel. I am your angel. Guys. He's a terrible person, but damn it, he was talented. Damn it. Okay.
Anyway.
Can we get someone else to remake these songs? Like, who can we get to remake the songs? I think that might be the best way.
To me, it's not that. So, okay. For me, it's not that. It's the song is now ruined because of the association with him. I don't feel that way about Kanye, except for I think there's a couple of songs that specifically were in that vein. I don't know, maybe. But when I'm hearing Kanye music, I don't think of that stuff that he's done and said and whatever. And maybe partly because when I saw it all happening, I didn't like really consume news about it. I was just like, man, this guy is moving mad. But I can't listen. So even if I were to listen to a cover of Storm is Over or someone else re-recording it, the association exists. So I think that's the only artist that has successfully been cancelled in my brain. Anyway, okay, Phil, let's wrap it up with this quick story about ZIMURA.
Okay, are we going to talk about my experience in Chitungwiza?
Oh yeah, and then we can talk about the weekend. Cool. So very quickly about ZIMURA. We got news today that the government of Zimbabwe has dissolved the entire ZIMURA board. Now, ZIMURA is the Zimbabwe Music Rights Association. We have spoken about ZIMURA a couple of times on this podcast where we were speaking about the fights for power, the power struggles that were going on with the Alexio Gwenzi and others. Anyway, so the news dropped today that the entire board was dissolved, that the government was going to appoint an interim administrator. I understand that that's going to be you, Phil. And this interim administrator will be overseeing the ZIMURA operations.
You don't get the F out of here.
While investigations are conducted. And then after investigations, there may be legal or disciplinary actions. And then after that, a new board would be
Y'all
appointed.
niggas is going to jail.
So yeah, I mean, there's the stories there, everything from the real estate and the administration of funds to the governance operations as to how the board is working. Yeah. So yeah. That Avondale property was reversed.
What? Shocking development.
Yeah, and then Alexio and crew were ousted, and then they filed for an urgent EGM.
Let's call your homie, the communication on. Let's give him a call.
You wanna call Alexio? Watch. Seeing as this is currently under investigation, I'm not trying to be known associates.
Not only that, okay. I don't want to be evidence in the court case. Your Honor, we present you evidence 39 Article 2 of the case.
It's a clip of a podcast, Two Broke Zimbos. Yeah.
Yo, the amount of people that keep saying that, it's so annoying. Do you know how many times people keep saying that our podcast is 3 men on a boat?
Yeah. I guess it's just a number podcast. At least they're not saying 6 foot weights.
The amount of times I get called you, it's wild. Oh, the amount of times like people are like, so where's Dan? Like, this is a grown ass man with a wife.
I get asked that a lot as well. So where's your other half, eh? So
you mean Taz? You mean Taz? She's right
my
here.
Wife. Anyway, okay, yes. So Phil, tell me about this past week. This was an extremely busy Easter weekend.
Yo, it was lit, man.
There was the Ama 2K festival, which allegedly had 20,000 plus people. Man, if you don't get out of here,
guys, we can count. Guys, we can count. It's Belgravia, please.
Like, be serious. But still, it was very, very heavily attended. Shout out to
never
festival.
ever seen people openly admit putting people's children in such danger. So what you're admitting to is a massive safety hazard.
There was also King Kandoro's show, his Easter special show that we spoke about him with. Then there was also Bling 4's launch of his album, which then turned out to not really be a launch of the album because the album only launched today, I believe. So,
but also it's only on YouTube.
So Phil was present on the ground.
I was there. You know what?
Chitungwiza Aquatic Complex.
I've been saying this to myself, and I'll publicize to the public. I think like for a long time I've been doing a lot of things and not doing what I want to do. Chasing the bag as opposed to chasing my passion. That's why you see me with my shirt right now, because I've decided I'm no longer treating my baby, my company, as a side chick. She's now the main chick. So this year I'm going all in music. And maybe next year I will apply for the ZIMURA board. But this year I'm going all in. So I was like, one thing I used to do, which Dan and I used to disagree on a lot, is I always used to be outside. I used to be feeling the pulse. And I realized like I've fallen off. I've become a little, out of touch. I hear a Sane Wave song here and there, but I don't know all of them. I hear a Run the Rule song here and there. I don't know all of them. Like I barely know Dingo Dukas. You know what I'm saying? I need to touch the streets. I need to see what's going on. So an opportunity presented itself for me to go to Chitungwiza. I was like, I'm there and they're like, swimwear, let's go. And what an experience. You have to experience that venue once just in your life, whether it's a hip hop event or a dance. I've done a few dancehall events there, and I think I did Baga's launch there. But I got there and it was absolute pandemonium. It took us an hour to get in. And I also got the funniest experience. So the entrance to the VIP parking, which is right by the aquatic, is also, you have to pass through the box office where they're trying to sell the tickets. And because they're signing the tickets, there's a massive crowd of people trying to queue up and buy these tickets. But there's also pressure. People are pushing each other. There's dogs. You know what I mean? There's a lot of jostling, as they say. A little bit of space. While this is happening, the guards are trying to push people out. So the cars are now taking up the space where people were normally standing. And now people are more squashed in this area. And now people are literally leaning against your car. You know, like those scenes where celebrities in the limo and then fans are just swarming the vehicle? Mm-hmm. That's what it was. And I literally have people swarming my car. And now they can see everything in my car. Fam, they were roasting the hell out of my car. Hey, don't say about that. Got dent up. Hey, don't say like that. It's shand. Don't say on the check engine. Let get to the money. Money. Don't take up. Like I don't know, but they were quality roasts. I was dying.
Okay.
So deal with that. Finally, we get in, and the energy is incredible. We're looking at that time, I think around 7,000 people in the arena, but about 3,000 people trying to get into the arena. So we go upstairs to the VVIP, and nothing. I think there was a few stints where the DJs played a little bit of hip hop. Playboy Cardi really goes off in the ghetto apparently, but it was mainly that and a little bit of Amapiano. But for the most part, it was nothing but local music. So can you imagine going to an event that's packed to the rafters, energy on 1,000, filled with fans from all walks of life, obviously from Chitungwiza mainly, and it's nothing but Zim music, and they're singing it word for word. It was amazing. The insane wave comes out. Crowd goes insane, word for word, every song. He gives an incredible performance. Runner Rules comes out. Insane performance. He had his dances, he had his moves, energy on 1,000. Every song, word for word. Then Junior Spraga came out. My God, I thought the roof was going to explode then. Yo. Yeah. Is a jam. Like I felt like Sauro was there. You know what I mean? It was wild. Junior Spraga kills it. Then Enzo Aishel comes out, and then I was like, as much as like some people may have issue or taken umbrage with Enzo Aishel's recent decisions vis-a-vis alignments and so forth. This man's got too many hits. Like he's just got too many hits. He was doing like a medley, but even the medley was just hits for 45 minutes. Hits, not even the full songs, just hit. Then we come on to my boy Chill Master. So as Dan articulated earlier on in this podcast episode, the energy it's on the rise. So you've got Runner Rules, you've got Sane Wave, you've got Enzo Aishel. They've taken it to another level. Then the DJ comes out and the DJ takes it to another higher level. So now it's electric. People are amped. People are hyped. And then Chill Master comes with his sing-song melodies. And his performance isn't that good as it stands. And about halfway through it, those bottles start going. Like you see one bottle, you see two, you see three. But it wasn't like a full-on assault. And they were trying to be polite. Because then after the bottle started, so the bottles...
polite bottle throwing.
Yeah, polite bottle throwing. So like, it was like just a disperse. It wasn't like a full-on torrent. It was just like a drizzle. Like one bottle here, one bottle there, a can here, a can there. Then the worst thing, which to me would have been the most disheartening thing, if you've been to the aquatic complex, it's built like it's built like a basketball court, like a large basketball court, right? So it's got terraces on either side, and then it's got the ground itself, right? But it's easier to see if you're on stage, and obviously if you're in the terraces, you can see directly at the stage because you're elevated. The worst part is everyone starts waving him off, especially the people in the terraces. So I'm looking out and I just see hands waving. And I can only imagine what it's like being on stage, looking into the crowd and just seeing everyone saying, yo, bye, please go. But you're pushing through it. And then the worst part is, so he thinks, no, I've got two in the tuck. I've got Waganaka. Starts performing Waganaka. Fam, they wouldn't have it. I think they gave the first chorus just a bit of play because they liked the song, but then after that, they were back to the bottles. And to his credit, Chill Masters keeps pushing through it.
To his credit.
He was like, I'm doing my full set. Then he does Hora. I would have loved to hear Hora when the crowd were with him. He kind of turned a few people in the crowd. So like 60% of the crowd was still with him when Hora came on. But the other 40% were like, yeah, nah, fam, we've been done with you. And that's when I was like, you know what? I understand why some of these guys have substance abuse problems. I get it.
For the record, Phil, I don't disagree with being outside and touching the streets. I am just unable at my old age.
It's fine.
Old age.
It's fine. You do what you want, you know?
Well, I mean, it sounded good. Just the last thing to review about the Easter weekend was, did you see the pics and videos from the Ja Praiser Elaine show at the HICC?
Oh, who did not? I mean, that was Sunday on Twitter was a mess.
So it seemed, again, I was not there, just from a few videos that were circulating. And I'm always wary about those because, depending on what time you take them and from what angle, but it did seem like the place was relatively empty.
Yeah. I don't remember actually. I don't know did you see any videos or photos of Ja or Elaine on stage?
Nope.
Actually, neither did I. I saw a video of Volt performing and the crowd was very scant, but I didn't see any videos of Ja Praiser or Elaine, which is curious, I would say. Isn't that a bit curious?
So it was a festival of some kind, right? It was a Culture Connect festival or something like that. And they brought in Elaine from Jamaica, and it was Ja Praiser and some other acts. Apparently the tickets were quite expensive. But yeah, it seemed
but they also sold out, but apparently they didn't sell out.
No, they sold out phase 1. Guys, no. When you're selling tickets, you start with phase 1. When you communicate that phase 1 are sold out, which it could be true that phase 1 was sold out, it creates urgency in your buyers' minds.
You're operating on a terrible model if that's how you work. Yeah. Phase 1 should be at least 50% of your capacity. You are selling phase 1 as a volume driver to fill up. You make your money. You actually make your money closer to the event. What you need, because the more people that buy tickets, the more people that want to buy tickets, you just need to ensure you've guaranteed capacity and you've guaranteed ROI. Then you worry about profit.
Yeah. I hope it wasn't as bad as those images and videos.
I think the fact that everyone has been hush-hush about it actually confirms it, because I feel like it would have been just a simple photo of performing in front of a full crowd or video of him in front of a full crowd, and that would have addressed everything. But the absence of all that evidence might point to the evidence of absence.
Of which, either way, sometimes not everything always goes right all the time. Yeah. And then, can I just say, for my wife, her 9/11 was finding out that Once Upon a Time in Joburg announced their headline act.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
Are we going?
I mean, you see, she's currently not in a state to be out and about.
That kid will learn. Doesn't she? I don't understand. She has a sister, right?
She literally fell to her knees. Shame.
Shame. Wait, I'm confused. Wait. Just repeat what I'm asking since she's in the room. Does she not have a mother and a sister? I'm confused.
What has that got to do with anything?
When is the performance? The performance is in July, right?
No. Oh, it's in Joburg. So
no.
Yeah, it's in July in Joburg.
So okay. So
it's not in July. It's in May.
So it's next month.
So
So I'm confused. So she just get her a pair of Skechers.
No, once you cross a certain number of weeks, the advice is not to be in loud environments.
So no, what you do is you get like a soundproof blanket, right? And you wrap it around the belly, so it insulates the baby from the noise. I'm come on, guys. I mean, this is science.
My suggestion is, you know what? We just get the VIP tickets, and then we find a place to.
VIP.
we hang out with the wives of the sponsors, and surely it should be safe. Nah, I shame. But shout out to all the people at Joburg who'll be going to serve. All right, Phil, let's wrap things up. We've gone on a little bit longer than initially planned.
As always,
ladies and gentlemen.
You know, Dan, I think we need to figure out how to get more music chats back on the show. Like, especially talking about new music. We need to figure out how to do it safely. I think it's important.
I don't think there's a way.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Two Broke Twimbos. I will have to confirm if I am available next week. I may not be.
All right. It's cool. Just let me know in good time. I'll find a co-host. I'll find someone to come.
Yeah, I will most likely not be, but
speaking of baby bumps, congrats to Rue. Second one on the way.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, congrats.
No, man. Sometimes seeing things makes you really happy. I'm like, man, come on, man. Look at Rue,
if you are listening to this podcast, I wish a baby bump in your near future as well.
Thank you. Even mine is growing. Look at my baby bump is getting nice and big.
I'm hoping you get that I'm late text, or you get that positive result. And this is with all my heart and joy to you. This is my wish for you guys. You're welcome.
Thanks, Dan.
Me very well.
I receive, Papa. I receive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, twobroke-twimbos.com, twobroke-twimbos.com/donate. And please like, subscribe, follow, all the usual stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one.
We out.